that the MRD and SDDS are not connected.
Is not connected, yeah.
You can say it then?
You can say it, yeah. MRD and SRS, right? So let's go to the requirement. Yeah, let's say user interface specification.
UIS, what is that? Users what?
User interface specification. The big pamphlet, the Xerox that you have.
Interface.
User interface specification. Okay. MRT.
You were saying yesterday that you highlighted some of these things in this document you sent us.
Yeah.
What was that for?
To, let's say you want to understand a system, you can't read the whole 500 page or
Exactly.
150 page.
So you said that when
so
you
go ahead
highlighted,
and you can read the information only about patient management, user management, and vital management.
do
you can
normally
search that
companies will do that, or they just let you read everything?
They just let you read everything. You focused on something else, then you based on that.
Like if they told
you
you you're
understood.
doing only vital management.
Yeah, so then you read only
vital management.
vital management.
But in
correct.
the meantime, you should read the others just so you know, or no?
If you can read and understand, that's really bad. That's really good.
In case they change next week and they say, okay, you're not doing vital, you're gonna do
But
patient.
is this kind of terminology, it's everywhere.
Yes.
So wherever we go, they usually don't say like software developer or something. They just say DDDC, right?
Yes, that's true.
So when you
just
should
use
know.
acronyms. It's just that
Create patient lists,
the format might be different. So would this same apply to if you went to work for like a telecommunication?
Yeah, it will same, because every company will prepare a user interface specification. The telecommunication software that we saw, or the airport application that we saw, everybody writes their specification, that what my UI will look like, what my telecommunication user should see, where the tower should come, what report it should show.
Okay, so how does the CRM fit in there?
CRM is again a different vertical.
Okay.
CRM, telecommunication, these all in the same category.
Same category.
But they don't work together.
Okay.
So in the system of MRD, they write feature. Let's say SRS has an ID, right? SRS1, SRS2. So in
yeah,
from here, SRS10 means the system shall allow creation of patient. SRS11 means allow viewing of patient information.
So if you were given patient management, these are all of the requirements you would read.
So what is XR68? Why it's like system shows?
In between, let's say when the first draft was software of created, they created 68 items that we will provide these things. But then they say we do not have the time for developing this thing, or the hospital doesn't wanted those things. So they removed all those things from in between.
So it just went from 14 to all the way
14 to all. So they removed everything in between.
So from 10 to 14 we have to do this, and 68 we should.
We have to do it, yeah.
So 68 we should.
We should do whatever is mentioned in this section.
Is what you do.
Is what you do.
What he's saying is after 14 and 15, 16, they got rid of all that, so we don't need to worry about that, and they just decided.
So first draft, when the first time they went to hospital, they write something else here. They write something else. Then when they again went to hospital after 1 month, the hospital says, okay, we don't need these things right now, so let me get rid of them.
And so from SR10 we jump into SR68.
Correct, yeah.
This is normal.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's not a problem. So where is that another document? Let me show you. A technical reference document. So here what happens, sometime the developers or the architects guys, they design some of the systems, and then they say what we understood for creating patient, what we are going to do for creating a patient. When I create a patient at my Windows XP software, what information I should send to server, and how should it store these records, right? So for that they write this document,
which is called
technical reference document. Entity management, database management. So now if we go in detail about that, it will say You see, this is my device. Device means the blood pressure monitoring device, the heart, the PMP or ECG,
Okay.
right? So when it connects to the client PC, it should first connect to my client PC, then it should create an MRN. So this is what you try to understand when you go to the company. So this might not help you when you go to any other company, but this is very important for you to understand this thing and before you start doing your test case. So that's how you know that how many device I can connect to my this one. When I connect to my when I connect a client to my server, I will store it into a which database, and it can talk to that HL7 system that we discussed. So this is just a give you a basic idea of it. You sometimes you don't even you can't even figure out anything from this architecture diagram, but if you read some of the portion, then you might feel that this is very technical, mostly for developers.
Okay, but you're saying it's just good enough.
Yeah,
We
if you
should read it.
we
if
should
we
read
can.
it if you
Okay.
can read it and if you can understand that thing, because I read it in the beginning, I couldn't make it out anything out of it. Then I again read it one more time. I made a list of questions. I went to developers, I asked them what should I. So there's developer, you don't have to worry about these sections, but if you can understand these many sections, it's good for you. So they will highlight you all those things. Okay. Maintain a class, patient data. Okay, let me show you what is the patient data.
But you were showing us something else, right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
SRS document. So we will
Okay.
go through how these documents are related to each other,
Okay.
right? And the UIS main document, right? So in UIS, they will have the same information but in a different way. So now the SRS document, when the marketing team says a patient should be able to create it in the system, right? So how it should create it? So the UI designing team will prepare a sample layout, a sample form,
For
and
you.
they will write. No, not for me, for everybody. This is for
I
entire
mean,
entire company.